everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Mariana and I am here to do the vibes inside for you today. This is going to be a full moon reading that is coming up on the 10th of September in the sign of Pisces. So, to add those two elements together, we have a great cycle potentially ending or starting a new one. I have the black cloth on my table today, and it kind of represents that something is done or or at least the opportunity is here with the full moon to kind of disconnect from something or say goodbye to something. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. We say that in astrology, Pisces is considered to be the most advanced water sign. If we have to understand the Pisces energy, we may look at the animals that are connected with the water signs. Cancer and Scorpio are both animals who have shields and claws. Pisces do not have that. It's the fish. It doesn't have any claws. It doesn't have any shield. It's slippery. It's quick. It has to be quick to escape if something feels too much. So Pisces is actually, you could say, here to try to live a life without any shield. Most sensitive, most psychic, most emotional at some point, but also advanced, mature energy. Why do people incarnate as a Pisces? It's the most vulnerable, you could say. The Pisces sign is often depicted with two fish, meaning that exactly because of this vulnerability, there are sometimes two directions. Pisces like light-hearted, playful, easy-going energy, at the same time always looking for the exit door. If something should come up that I don't like, then I can kind of just slip myself away from everything. So there's the downside or the shadow side of Pisces is escapism. It means that you run away from stuff. So one of Pisces' life lessons, I believe, is that to overcome that escapism, to overcome situations, even though you feel extremely vulnerable in it, you try to figure out how to get through it anyway, using what else you have available, right? So you use your intuition, you use your guidance, psychic guidance, you use your clairs if you are clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. claircognizant, or you use your abilities to like read the room, you could say, and decide what situations are good for you and what situations could potentially be dangerous for you. And if they are dangerous or they feel very overwhelming to you, how do you figure out how to cope in that situation then? I also believe there could be something about deciphering if there are situations that could, there are massive life lessons in here. If you get yourself into very dangerous situations, there are massive life lessons. But which one is for you, Pisces, right? Are you supposed to be trapped? Are you supposed to be... Are you supposed to stand in front of a big animal that can hurt you? The Pisces energy, because it is very psychic and it links to the cosmic realm a lot, I feel like there's also an element, I had this come up earlier, also was it Sagittarius, I think, reading, where I talked about this to be or not to be, this idea of, and Scorpio reading as well, to be in a physical human body living on Earth with maybe a sense of a very vulnerable, that it's a vulnerable feeling to be on Earth, right? That it feels the human body is limited. It can only live as long for a period, a limited period of time, whereas the soul is endless. It's not something that can die. It continues on into a new life. But if we live a lot on the physical plane, in the human body, if our psychic abilities have been repressed, or we can't really connect with them, or we don't trust them, maybe, we can live a more earthy life, trying to cope with whatever else we have available for us, believing that this life is limited to the human body. It's that your soul can only get so far in this life. It's not eternal. That if you don't have the link to that, or you don't believe it, you don't believe in that idea about reincarnation, the soul coming here to learn, to grow, if you don't believe in that stuff, you would probably be more linked to the earthy, factual realm here, what you own, what you have, what you possess. You would be linked to the people around you, codependency maybe, a kind of what's that? Like a constant feeling of just slipping away, just slipping away from something. I just got myself out of something. I was lucky, maybe. I was lucky to get myself out of some kind of trouble that could really have been devastating to me somehow. I don't think you were lucky. You were guided somehow, right? And there can be so much gained by connecting with that. And I feel like the black cloth here on my table is like a symbol of, well, we can say darkness, but in the yin and yang symbol, the dark element is the feminine side. So it's the psychic realm. It's the things that sometimes you can't shine a light on it and see it. The feminine operates in ways that are not always detectable. There is not a physical proof of it. And yet there is. Let's say you, when the feminine works, it's sometimes, I feel like, more an energy thing. It's not physical and tangible like the masculine. The masculine wants to carve the wood or to cut the stone so then they can show you this, right? This is what I've done. I've created this beautiful crystal, right? So there's a physical proof and everyone can see it. The feminine can, the feminine can do stuff as well, but the feminine energy is like undetectable sometimes. What is a mother doing when she is comforting a sad child? What is it exactly she's doing? What kind of tool, like what physical tool does she use if she is hugging a child and nurture it and care for it? This is something that has great value, but we can't see it, right? It's something that is, and it kind of vibrates in the air when the child is comforted and it's ready again to look at the world and go out there again. She releases, right? And it kind of vibrates again. It's not necessarily always that intense somehow, but it's kind of like a gathering of intense energy for a moment where it's required, where it's needed, where it's healing, right? It's a healing energy that is like, we can't touch it, right? It can be the simple stroke, right? That a simple touch that is just very gentle and very calming, like over the hair, right? Or it's that undetectable. That's why I believe it's the black that is associated with the yin energy, the feminine, because it's kind of not visible. It can even be like, I believe it's in the space, like in your living room, for instance, or in your home. There can be yin. Yin is available. We have matter, right? We have a sofa, a couch, we have a table, we have a chair, we have all kinds of stuff, which is matter, which is, to me, related more to the masculine aspect of Earth. And then we have space. We have space and air. This is matter. Here, up here is space. There's nothing here, right? Just my hands at the moment. But there's nothing here. So what is it I do from down here and up here for you? I do something. I can create a story, right? I can, as I did earlier with my Palo Santo here, I can smudge the air. Right? Even a simple thing like I do this in front of the camera, right? It gives a certain feeling to something. I can put in, scents. Someone people like maybe to put scent in a bathroom, or while you take a nice long bath, maybe. We can create in the space. We can create something. The space emanates something about the people that live there. Is it a very hectic space? Is it a very active space? Is it a very silent space? Is it relaxing? Is it calm? Is it dynamic? What's going on in the space? So I feel like, because it's Pisces, the last zodiac sign of the zodiac wheel, and a full moon combined. And full moon talks about like wrapping up something. We have wrapped up a cycle of something. And now we are getting to the end point. It's like we are finishing something, and then we start something new. Then we get the Aries again, like the first house, the first sign of the zodiac. So what does this mean for you particularly? It's like a big wrapping up of something. I even want to say, because in astrology we talk about in December 2021 we had a particular date around the solstice, where we said that now we are entering the age of Aquarius. But entering doesn't mean that it's totally cut. Like there is a blending phase, right, from the Pisces age, a long or more than 2,000 year Pisces age, into Aquarius, and it's kind of just starting. So this is still a blending phase where those are blended together. I feel though that with this full moon coming up now, I have the feeling it's like something is literally wrapping up from the Pisces age. In your life, maybe something is wrapping up, something particular is wrapping up, or at least there is an opportunity to maybe have an emotional release about something, an emotional realization about something that can potentially like bring you somewhere else. There's an opportunity to start something new. There may be something you need to figure out first. And maybe also I want to say a deeper connection with the yin, maybe. A deeper connection and trust with the yin. Or a new yin, like a revitalized yin, a yin that believes in itself, not what other dictates it to do, but it believes in itself. A phase where we are not escaping, when we are not running away from who we are and how we look, or we try to commit more to the yin you are, right? The yin you are, the yin in you, the feminine in you. Maybe a deeper connection with the feminine in you. Here we can also talk about your body. Calm it down, right? gives it attention, like it has this, it lives this lifetime, so be kind to it maybe. There could be a deeper sense of commitment to be healthier maybe, or and in when I say healthier, I want to stress that it's healthy how you see it, not necessarily how the health industry is dictating it, but how you see it, what's healthy for you, right? What's right for you, what's right for your body. Maybe your body in particular has certain needs. Maybe it needs more rest. Maybe it needs more sleep. Maybe it needs more water, right? Maybe it needs more some kind of supplements, or it needs to be reassured that everything is going to be all right. If you feel anxiety, all this stuff, that you're the one that calms it down. Everything you think, the body will reflect. So if you think badly, if you think disastrous thoughts like, I'm going to lose everything, I'm not good enough, I'm in danger, your body will tighten up and respond to it. Yes, we are in danger. I'm on guard, right? So there is a big lesson for us to calm it down, unless you are in danger, of course. But if you are not in real danger, you have to look around your situation, right? If you're not in danger, there's no reason for running. There's no reason for not just calming down. If you live in an environment where it's not easy for you to calm down, there's a lot of, again, what's your space, what's in your space? So inside your house, there's a lot of activity and stress and conflict, or what's going on? Be aware of the space and maybe try to create a space that feels better for you in whatever sense that might be. We are all different here. It's a general full moon tarot reading, right? So what feels, maybe you like activity, maybe you like calm. At least I want to say, listen to your body. What does your body tell you? Is it, how does it respond to activity or relaxation? What feels best? Not what society dictates, right? Because society will dictate that we have to be active, we have to do stuff. We always have to do stuff. We have to prove ourselves. We have to be strong and vital and continuously producing and giving and all that stuff of our energy. But you take a minute to decide, how do I respond, my body respond, if I actually allow it to rest? How does it respond if I become more active? Or what I put into my space, who am I inviting into my home, and what does it create? What kind of dynamic comes in the space? Do you always feel like, if some people have been around, that you have to air your apartment or your house? It's like you have to get it out, this kind of turmoil maybe. Do you get my point? This is the realm of the feminine energy. This is where you can become very aware of your own energy, of what energy actually heals you and what energy is hurting you somehow, right? And take that how it resonates, because it will be different for all of you. I cannot say what's best for you, right? But this is what I feel like, that there could be some realizations about how environment and energy in space is influencing you, good or bad, or healthy or unhealthy. I'm not the judge of it. It's up to you. Just kind of, if you feel like you are guided to listen, then maybe there's something in here for you, right? So the yin energy is energetic, it's psychic, it's emotional, it relates to the body. So there could be stuff about the body that comes up now. That is where you become more tender with your body, maybe. You're not pushing it as hard, or maybe you are, if that makes sense to you. But take that how it resonates. Some may actually really need to relax, really relax. Take time to sleep more, if possible. Do that. Or just maybe getting away from masculine energy and pressure and all this. Like maybe really getting to a calm space in nature and just be. The feminine energy is a being energy, right? It is. The masculine energy is a doer energy. So there can be also a feeling of needing to balance these within you, like the feminine relaxing being energy is very different than the masculine doer energy. When we sleep, we connect with the feminine. We just are. We lay there. We do nothing. We sleep. And we all are dependent on that. That's the minimum, I want to say, of feminine energy you need. But feminine is also dreaming. It's fantasy. It's playful. So look at the balance between those two. You can be in a very restful place, but thinking about matter all the time. Thinking about money. Thinking about how you don't have enough money. Thinking about poor health. Thinking about people and things around you. Whereas you can also be in a feminine energy that rests and rejuvenates in the beingness and is grateful for it and loves it and just feels lighter and more playful in it. Right? It's you figure this out for you, right? But there is a full moon energy here that kind of wants to wrap something up for you. And there is potential for making new manifestations or affirmations. You can write them down and work with them maybe over the next 14 days until we have the next new moon coming up. And you kind of just incorporate maybe some of this or become aware of it maybe. And if there's something you really want to release, there is very good potential for this, but you have to choose it. You have to choose it, even if you're not certain. That means maybe you need to, let's say, if you need rest, maybe you need to work less hours. Or when you are off work, you go and rest. You don't go and do fitness. You don't go and do something very active. You go and rest. You go and sleep. right? Whatever it takes for you, you do that. Someone who has very strong Pisces intuition can feel a room, right? They walk into the room. Even before they get in, they know something about that room. Be mindful about the rooms that you go into. I'm not saying that you can't go to the gym, but maybe it's not, maybe you go to the gym and what you do there is, it's more gentle, slower perhaps, a steadier pace, a steady, slower pace with less weight. I had an incoming message about this this reading and this entire energy here that says something like, what's wrong with the little things? There's nothing wrong with the little things. Meaning that small achievement is just as important as big achievements. It's just scale. We can even go as far as the little things can be about children. So what's wrong with the children? There's nothing wrong with the children. They are learning, right? They're not adults yet. They are still playing. We can learn a lot from children. They are still playing. They are extremely active, right? Extremely active. But at the same time they play, they sleep. They need sleep, right? They need nurture, they need hugs, and they are open to it all, right? So there could be something about, are you open to rest? Are you open to peace? Are you open to embrace that part of you as well? Something needs to be embraced in a new way, perhaps. The new Pisces, like maybe you are you become different, like you change something. Maybe a change is needed for you, right? In the Pisces energy also lays something about you could say, I want to say masks. Well, we all have masks. We need the masks to interact with other people. And that still puzzles me, why that is. We all wear masks. We have personal masks. We have like makeup masks, right? Something we put on because we believe this makes us more beautiful, or we cannot go outside the door without makeup, or it's like the entire world is looking at me then, and I feel even more vulnerable. So makeup can be a kind of protection against, criticisms maybe, or judgment. We have social masks with friends. We have maybe work masks. We have family masks, parental masks. We have all kinds of masks. And I get it. It acts as a protection. It's just, why do we need to protect ourselves against ourselves or against our own species? We are a species, the humans, we are a species that constantly fear each other. Therefore, we need masks. If you go in nature, they don't wear masks, do they? We wear different masks to express ourselves creatively, colorfully. There's something about being civilized. Being civilized means that we can show the wildest side of us, the more animal side of us. That's not allowed, right? Being civilized means that we can get along with everyone. Kind of. But is that natural? Like originally natural for the human being? Believing we derive from the animal kingdom? Apes? Unless you believe we are put here by God, Adam and Eve, that story. It's just, to me, it's still puzzling why we need that much ego protection, our masks, why we need it, because it's like I need to be not me when I'm around other people. I need to be something that is maybe not entirely me all the time. But I need to be that to be part of this workplace. If I truly showed all my colors, they would hate it. I would be all over the place. I would be a mess. I would create mess, maybe. I would say things that is not allowed or not appreciated. And everyone does that. It's like we are so civilization has created great things. But a part of us that is still animal-like is deeply repressed because of it. Because it takes certain places to, or it takes certain situations to have the release then. This different side of us needs a release somewhere else. And sometimes I believe that happens at home actually. That if you have kept up a big mask at work to do something very big and strong and everything there, very professional, when you get home, it's like you have kept up this entire mask for so long, so now you kind of let go. You get angry with your spouse or your children, or you say things. You let your frustration out somewhere else. Maybe you don't do it at home. Maybe you decide to run, like you have become a runner, a marathon runner, right? And the frustration needs to go through the body, right? Through movement. But you get my point of it. It's like, and the Pisces age is very much about this, because it's so vulnerable, because it has no claws or no shielding, it needs something else to protect it somehow. A quickness, fast moving, slippery. We say that about the Pisces, that it's very quick in, maybe also quick out, because it has to just smell the roses, and then if they don't like it, whoop, they are out again, right? Or if I'm supposed to stay with those bad smelling roses, I need some kind of protection, right? I need something that covers me so that I will not be killed or kind of affected by this environment, the space, what's going on in the space. And I believe Pisces very, very connected to the space part, what's going on about the energies here. So if you feel like you have been forced or you had to be in environments that felt unsafe for you or unhealthy, you had to build some kind of protection, some kind of mask. That makes sense, right? It makes sense, some kind of shielding. Otherwise, you would have withdrawn from it. You would have been the fish. You were out the door already. But if you have been in environments, I believe we all have, because of civilization, because of that we have to behave in a certain way. We have to be professionals. We have to be like mature, right? So we have to put ourselves sometimes in situations in life that our instincts tell us to get the hell out. Our instincts in the room tell us to get the hell out of this. But we don't do it because we are obligated to do otherwise. We are obligated by job, by personal beliefs, by love, by or codependency, by power struggles or something like that. We are in it. And I believe this full moon kind of indicates maybe there could be some kind of feelings like, I'm done with that. Like I can't go back to this. It's unhealthy for me. It maybe I literally become sick. My body responds to this. I become ill. I can't do that anymore. I have to figure out to do something else. Do something less or in a totally different environment. The environment has to be different somehow. Do you get my point of this? So this Pisces full moon is you can imagine, right? What does it feel like to be a fish or a Pisces in a civilized masculine world? The Pisces age that we have almost entered out of, I want to say, I feel still this feeling of like a blending phase between the two. There is still like an aftermath or an after slip of something of this Pisces age. I believe there will be something like the entire makeup industry. I believe it's going to flatten. Like it's maybe not quickly, but it's going to flatten down. Makeup is going to be less colorful. Or it becomes very colorful because now we are all allowed to actually show who we are. That's the interesting thing, because Aquarius is Aquarius is the most natural element you can have almost. It doesn't care. It really doesn't care. And I really get that. My son is Aquarius, right? He doesn't care about like fancy clothes labels or it just has to feel good. Like it has to feel good on his body. Like it shouldn't be too tight, too itchy or something like that. He doesn't like that. It has to just fit. It has to be loose. It has to be comfortable. Sometimes also easy, like easy to slip in, easy to slip out of. Nothing like the less bottoms, the better it is. No hard objects. he fancies like sweatpants as opposed to maybe jeans or something like that. You know, it's that kind of just cotton, soft, loose stuff. He doesn't care about his hair. He doesn't care, well, he gets a haircut, but he doesn't care about it. It's not important to him to have, like, look a certain way. He doesn't care about makeup. Well, he's a guy, but when he looks at girls, I literally think that he would prefer them without. Like, he doesn't understand why it's that important to have a lot of makeup on. He is technically interested. He is very good at math. He has very particular interests, kind of nerdy, you would say, maybe, kind of guy. And I just see this as, when I look at him and then I look at like this entire Pisces industry that has been built up over like many, many years. And we just entered out of it. It's like cosmic surgery, so much makeup, and young girls like 13, 14 years wear masks of makeup with big eyelashes and a lot of like heavy makeup. I get it. It looks pretty. It looks like we are all film stars. But at the same time, I see it just as a mask. And it's not natural. It's not the natural you. Why can't we just be natural? Aquarius would say to Pisces, why can't you just be natural? And Pisces would say, but that's too dangerous for me. And Aquarius would say, why? Right? Aquarius is an air sign. Why? He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it, right? Because the vulnerability of, emotional vulnerability and sensitivity of Pisces is not known to him. He doesn't get it. So it's like two very different energies that are kind of still figuring out how to blend somehow. And there could be this feeling that comes up that you have to give up a mask, or you want to give up a mask, but at the same time fearing it. The full moon is here to maybe literally help you get over that fear. Okay, now I have been babbling a lot here, so let me just get some cards out. But I feel like actually in my readings I get more and more inclined to channel, like to channel what I get. I have too many here. To channel what I get. What's wrong with the little things? There's nothing wrong with the little things. Everything little can, with a what's that called? In science and in physics, they work with something called like a transformer. So something you can find in little scale can be scaled up with a transformer. So you can find a little particle and you can upscale it through the lab lens. You can upscale it and see it in a bigger perspective, right? We get to see something very small, and in the lab we can actually see it being very big. And when you do that, you can go out in nature. You can go out in nature and find something that looks exactly like that. So what's wrong about the little things? There's nothing wrong about the little things. The little things you do to take care of yourself, maybe. The little difference there is between something good or bad for you. There's nothing wrong with choosing them for you. There's nothing wrong with the children. They are still learning. Or actually, it's the opposite. We are learning from them to come back to the self, to come back to the raw you. The children are not wearing makeup, right? We don't give a 2 or 3 year old makeup on, right? Or maybe it's just for Halloween, or it's maybe just for a specific party, but otherwise they are not wearing makeup. Meaning that they are the most raw you can have. They go to kindergarten or they go to school, whatever, and they have to wear the mask they have. They have to wear the hair they have, the body they have. Whether it's thin or chubby or whatever, they have to be who they are. We expect them to go out in the world and just be who they are. But why can't we do that as adults? Why can't we own that? I feel like the children are actually our teachers, not the other way around. They are here to teach us something. In particular, those who also suffer from autism or ADHD or something like that, because they tell us about the overwhelm. They tell us about the noise. They tell us about boundaries, right? They tell us about demands from the masculine world. I believe they are here as teachers. That they tell us something. It's a message, right? They bring a message. That things have gotten too far. It's gotten too much. It's gotten too much pressure, too much noise, too much masculine. The human world has developed to become a very masculine-dominated world. We all have to show up every day as the same working zombies, right? The expectations are the same every single day. Even though we have a shitty day, or we haven't slept well, or we feel stressed out. It's like there is no room for that, right? This is where the feminine needs to come in, right? The feminine needs to, we have to actually, I feel like actually choose her, right? We have to choose the elements of the feminine more, like incorporate it more in our life so that we will have a better balance in our life as well. It needs to be done in workplaces. Leaders have to become aware of this. But make no mistake, the energy that is here on earth, the energy we have, we see from astrology as well, is affecting everyone. Everyone. And those that end up not getting the message are those that can't feel. So here we talk about the narcissists, sociopaths, or even psychopaths, right? They will probably not get the message. But otherwise, I want to say we will get it. We will get the message. Pisces is feminine. Aquarius is feminine. But it's very different than Pisces, right? So I feel like Aquarius and Pisces are actually discussing this, right? It's an energy that is, they're figuring out how to implement something so different after a long period of Pisces energy. The full moon is probably here to ask us all to let go of the fears. There could be a fear release coming up for you also with this full moon. Because it's necessary. We need to wind up somehow. We need to wind up. If you feel an emotional release coming, don't stop it. Like, get yourself somewhere safe. Get yourself somewhere alone maybe. And you let it out, right? You let that out. It's important. Just give me a moment here. I'm just figuring out how to... So I get a feeling of like a circle. And you see my hand is spinning clockwise. I get almost like the feeling of, well, the zodiac, right? The zodiac, but also something about the chakras. What is this? Why am I supposed to spin like this? I get something like you can use your hand over your chakras on your body and maybe help the chakras move, right? Like you can use your hand as a movement tool for the chakras if they are blocked or something. Try to just hold it with a little bit of space over your... Let's say this was your navel center, so the area of your solar plexus, you could just hold your hand over it and with the intention that you help your chakra to open or you help your chakra to spin. Because when it spins the other way, you can block it, right? When you, or you can close it, like clock counterwise is closing, clockwise is opening, right? So you can use that maybe as a healing tool with the intentions, right? The intentions of opening your chakras and have the energy flow more easily in your body. Yeah, okay, and now I get I feel like this is like a spine. So there is something about doing the opening, you know, I don't know if you know this, but the chakra system follows the spine. So you have at the bottom, you have the root chakra. This is the literally at your bottom. Then we have the sacral chakra. This is about it's a sexual center. It has to do with, you could say, the ovaries of the woman. It's the womb of the body. Then you have solar plexus. That's the, you could say, the navel center. It's the power center, personal power. Confidence, something like that. But if you are blocked in some of those areas, you may not have the experience that the energy is flowing easily throughout the spine here. And having the energy flow easily and effortlessly is where you are most in tune with you, most in tune with the original true you. And this is also where you don't need to escape anything, right? This is where you know already, because all of those are corresponding and communicating with each other here. So, after the navel center, we have the heart center, the heart chakra, and that is located around the heart area, of course. We have the throat chakra around the throat area. We have the third eye between the eyebrows, psychic abilities. And we have the crown chakra on top of your head. So if all these are like creating like a back and forth, effortless communication here, you will know exactly how to behave and do in all situations, because all are working in the same, they work together, you could say. But let's say you have a blocked root chakra here. If your root chakra is blocked, you would probably also have a heart chakra blocked, I want to say. Even a crown as well, but heart chakra as well, they correspond. So the root chakra is about primal safety. It's about existing in the world, feeling safe in your body, feeling safe where you are, the environment you are in perhaps. If this is blocked somehow, you have had some kind of issues going on around this. Most of us have this somehow, to more or less extent, of course. But in this area, if this is blocked, it cannot communicate correctly with the rest here. If your heart chakra is blocked and hurt, they will probably create turmoil in your life for you. Even though you have somewhat of a confidence, or even though you have clear thinking, or a somewhat clear thinking, even though you have psychic abilities, it can still create some kind of turmoil in what choices you make, when you run, or if you run from something. It's kind of, your antennas are off somehow. So I feel like this idea about like you can put it over your navel center, right? Or over your third eye, or over your root chakra. Just slowly, with the intention that you want to open it as much as it can open at this time. Because you can't open it fully, then you will be extremely scared probably. So maybe you need to open it as much as the body allows for, as much as your fear allows for, right? As much as your... That's what I feel like a healing journey is about. It's not about opening everything up at once, because then you will probably get psychotic. It's too much, right? So we open up what is supposed to open, right? At this point in time, depending on your healing situation, depending on your wounds, you can open... You would only, I would suggest, only open what you are ready to open, right? So that's the intention. Open only what you're ready to open, right? Or to work with. To work with, here we have the earliest traumas of safety, primal security, primal attachment. The sacral chakra is about creativity, sexuality. We can have woundings around sexuality. There could be fears about living, like there could be fears about existing. Life is created, first existence and life is created in the womb, right? There could be something about fearing to live, really live freely, and express yourself. Like there's expression here, creativity and expression. Also, like creative ideas come from this area. And then you need the confidence to actually go out and do it, right? You need the confidence to go out and bring it into the world, show it, right? And trust it and believe in it, and have the power to kind of maybe persuade people, or to sell it, to sell the idea maybe, right? Or to build it. Right? So these energies down here are those that can sometimes really cause us a lot of problems in manifesting what it is we want. So there's a healing part down here, you could say, that needs to be done to maybe connect with something of a different vibration, something that is intuitively guided perhaps, and trust it. I believe it can be difficult to trust the feminine energy in a masculine world because it's not really appreciated, right? Again, working with energy seems being a healer. In a masculine world, that kind of work is not really regarded as trustworthy, I believe. It's not regarded as solid, proved, or like scientifically proved, or some of it has become more well accepted. But again, because it has to do with energy, it has to do with space, it has to do with environment, it has to do with emotions maybe. It's more difficult to grasp what it is that's actually going on somehow. And because we can't see it, doesn't mean we can feel it. Some can actually literally feel the heat from a healer, right? They can feel the healing warmth from the hands of a Reiki healer, right? And maybe they feel a sense of release or peace, or from a healing session. And so therefore there is something to be gained from the feminine energy. It's just, it's not that accepted, right? It's still not that accepted. So I feel you can do a lot at home by yourself if you allow yourself just to rest. Sometimes we also get the feeling if we actually go to a healer, depending on what kind of healer you need. But if, let's say, it's those light healers that work with crystals, and they have always somehow created a room that is like it's light, it's there are no like dark colors in it. They have like light crystal quartz. They have beautiful candles. They have everything there is all emanating this feeling of lightness, purity, of a sense of gentleness and cleansiness, something clean and not messy. Like they have tried to create a room with no mess in it, and the space in it has maybe been like healed or cleansed with air, of course, but also with like purification tools like smudge or incense or ringing singing bowls, like tuning the space with music, with beautiful incantations or something like that. So the room feels very relaxing somehow. But and that in itself is healing. Even before you lay on the bench and receive the healing session, that in itself is healing, because you start breathing it, right? You start to just be part, you enmesh your own energy with this energy. You intertwine with that energy, and that feels very good to the body. Okay, so I hope you get my point. You can do some of this at home as well. You can create light, beautiful space for yourself at home. But maybe you need to declutter, to get matter out, right? Maybe you need to have fewer things because you need more space. And the space you can fill up with like beautiful ceremonial cleansing energy. Do you get my point? It's like we can work with this, right? That's why there is a difference when you are a child and you looked for comfort. Who did you go to? If you had a choice between a father or a mother, did you go to your father or your mother? I believe you went to the energy where you expected to be comforted the most, where the space or the charisma, the energy field around that person is most likely to comfort you. Right? That's what it is. It's an energy thing. And we can become much more aware of this in the environment we live in, the rooms we have, what we put in it. Because we can put a lot of stuff in it. We can store a lot in our basement, but it becomes more and more dense. Some people like to explore an attic full of old stuff. Other people hate it. Why? Because it's dusty, it's dark maybe, there are all these kind of boxes, but you don't know what's in it. It can be more or less sorted. It can be old, it can be smelly, it can be just stuff. It becomes dense, there's not much space, right? There's not much fresh air. The air can be still, like the room has not been aired. So it becomes very dense and kind of difficult to breathe maybe. The same in a basement. You just think about that, right? If you can do something in your life where you air something more, you air it more, You create more space. And interestingly enough, the Aquarius energy is an air sign, right? Air, space. So I believe that that's another thing coming with the Aquarius energy, is that we will probably downsize in the sense that we will have less stuff because we want air instead. We want the space instead. Okay, let's have a look. I want to look at the center first here. Oh, it says strength. That's actually quite accurate. It's even in the center of where I set the solar plexus, where the solar plexus area was here. And that is strength, Leo energy here. It's so interesting because she's actually looking up to the cosmic realm. You see that? She's looking up towards the sun maybe and to the cosmic realm here. Maybe it requires strength for you to go through some changes or to choose some new ways maybe in your life. I even want to say she looks upwards and it says strength. I get almost that maybe it's even something that requires a lot of strength for you to look upwards, meaning to look up towards the upper chakras. Like, again, she looks towards the cosmic realm, the sun here. So we could talk about Father, Son, we could talk about God, we could talk about the cosmic realm, planets, something like that. To look upwards or to look to the higher chakras of throat, so voice, communication, what you say, to your third eye, meaning that you actually trust the incoming message that you have, to look for that, to trust for the claircognizant, the crown chakra information, being open, like being open to the cosmic incoming messages, or to the Aquarius energy. To open up to the Aquarius energy may come with strength here. That you needed to gather strength, to trust it, or to go towards it, to choose it. Let's have a look why here. Death. So interesting that I have the death card and I have the black cloth here. I said in the beginning something about fulfilling some kind of cycle, something about rebirth and transformation. The death card here is about, well, we say death here, but it doesn't have to literally be that you die, right? But there could be a fear here connected with like rising. It's because what I see here is like, instead of looking on the earth realm for maybe the money, the building of a new business or something, she looks up here. She looks towards something that is not what she's walking on. She's looking towards something else here. And that has required a lot of strength, I feel like here. It could even be that because it is masculine, the Leo energy here, to make a Leo or to make a masculine energy change its view requires a lot of strength, right? To make a masculine change its view, because it would go for what is inside here. It wouldn't look up here. It would go and look for the prey here. What's here, right in front of his eyes here. But now it's like to make this energy change its view and start to looking upwards here. Then the Leo becomes, instead of wanting to manifest in the spiritual realm, like become to stand in the spotlight, to become a leader, a CEO, someone who can get the proof. As I said, they need the proof, right? That they have done well. They need the proof that they have climbed the ladder. They need the proof of education and all kinds of certificates on the wall. They need the pictures that show that they have climbed Mount Everest, right? They need the proof. That's the masculine energy in the world we live in. But if the Leo energy rises out of that, it becomes extremely spiritually connected. It becomes and that's what I see is happening. It's like someone is now raising their look up towards something more. That the power a Leo holds can be yielded in so many directions. You can become the greatest mentor, or you can become the most dominant, controlling person, right? Because you have that power. Because you demand respect, right? Because you fight off enemies, right? Because you are competitive, because you are fierce. But that fierceness can take you into a totally different direction if you go in a spiritual direction with it. Then it's no longer about the physical proof, the spotlight on earth, the many followers on social media. It's all superficial. This becomes a totally different travel or path. But you see, in order to do so, you have to face something. Fears perhaps here. Fear of not having maybe what you need in life. You maybe need to face your death, like physical death. It can be that you need to go through an ego death here. A lion ego death or confidence ego death here. That the lion no longer is seeking the material proof of something, matter proof of something. It seeks a different proof of something here, a different proof of connection. Because the Leo never stops, right? A Leo that lives in its ego can stop. It can stop. To make other people believe you are a Leo, you have to continuously provide proof of your greatness, right? But you are greatness. You don't have to do anything. You are greatness. And here it is again, the beingness. If you just know that you are great, you don't need to run to find it. You don't need to prove it. You are already. You are already, and you can use that energy to do something different with it. Instead of running and always seeking a proof of your greatness, to establish proof. It's like you're seeking constant proof and reassurance from the outside world that you are Leo, right? You keep running towards something, and the Leo can never stop then. It has to keep pushing to show the world that it has power, that it still can do otherworldly stuff. Right? That's the Leo in an ego position. Whereas if you look in nature, well, Leos actually use a lot of time just resting. They go hunt, and when they have eaten, they rest. They are not constantly out there roaring and showing their claws. No, they rest with the family, with the she lion and the children. They don't run around all the time like a marathon runner all the time to create the proof that I'm otherworldly, I'm a king, I'm the leader, I'm God here, or I'm a Superman. They don't do that. If we just take a look in nature, we can find that there is a different balance. This is what I feel like. If the Leo stops running here, if the masculine energy in all of us stops running, and it takes a look at another way of being, it probably requires our strength to stand the pressure that the workforce is still emanating, right? Or other situations, other environments it still pushes you to do something here. But to be someone who chooses to focus your masculine energy here on something else, that requires a strength. And we need to face some fears here of not having enough, of not maybe being seen enough, of not that people don't recognize you as a Leo, right? Or don't recognize you. That you don't have the followers anymore. It means that you have to go through an ego death here, where you believe that you need the outside validation to feel enough, that you need constantly to do, work, to be enough. And also potentially that if I actually follow this calling, and I maybe quit my job, I want to live in the outskirts of, and in connection with nature, I want to be one with the cosmic realm. How can I support myself then? How can I create how can I create a life for myself there? How can I sustain myself and even my family, right? My children maybe. How can I sustain a modern life? Because you have gotten used to that, right? The mobile phones, you've gotten used to the TV, the computer. You have gotten used to all this materials, all kinds of material stuff. But there could even be something about, because this is over, there could be something about what if there's nothing here but death? What if the cosmic realm is there's nothing here? What if there is no God? So it could be that you even need to master a lot of strength to trust in something that you may not have trusted in. If you never thought or you never believed in a God or in a deity somehow, to do that now, to look for something now that is something you may have not believed in. Maybe you were like raised not to believe in it. God doesn't exist, right? If God was here, why didn't he save us from poverty? Or why didn't he save our sister when she was terminally ill or whatever? There could be this feeling that I don't believe in, I don't trust in God. God doesn't exist. So there's to create that strength now from looking to the obvious just in front of you, to actually raise your look upwards. You may face something here. There could be fears also. What if I can't sustain myself? What if this is not safe? There could be fears that relate to past lives. We know a lot of like so-called witches and so on. They have been burned on the stake, right? They have been burned, they have been drowned, they have been decapitated, they have been punished, they have been imprisoned, they have been tortured, they have been exploited even. Some psychics have been exploited by kings, right? If they could determine whether a king would win a battle or not, something like that. So there's a strength here that is requiring all of us to look towards something or trust something that could potentially feel like my death. But I want to say the death card is primarily, I feel like, about the fears. Again, the fears that link to the mortal body, not to the soul. If you can make that distinction, you're already half there, right? Because the soul, this is a soul journey, I think, right? It actually shows everything. This is like the ego existence, right? Where we need to keep up a strong face to the current just in front of us, to overcome the things that are just in front of us, the work and everything. We have to be very strong and masculine and everything here. But from this comes a feminine now that looks upwards towards something else, right? It's like a feeling that it's almost like they are the same, right? That they are not just standing beside each other, that they are actually the same. He has like some kind of neck ring or something. It looks a little bit to me like he could have been caught at some point, and there are some chains here. She's holding the chains, right? But he's not aggressive. He's not trying to attack her or anything. He actually walks with her, right? So it's like they walk together here. And when we look closer, she also has like these golden kind of in her hair, like he has here. Like she also has some kind of, well, on her it looks like jewelry, right? It looks like something that is pretty. And on him it could look like he has been caught. He is chained to her somehow. Right? But actually I feel like it's more like a garment than it feels like like an imprisonment tool somehow. We could even say that within ourselves we both have masculine and feminine energies, and they are linked, right? We can't separate them. They are in our body. Each of us have that. So if they can figure out, instead of like this is supposed to be some kind of imprisonment or control, that now it's like a cooperation. But as I said, it's like there is a discussion between the masculine part in all of us and the feminine part in all of us. To rise up as feminines and choose to look for something else and use all these more energetic, and trust them, right? Trust them requires strength. And maybe we need still an ego here that protects us while we are doing that. Maybe we still need an ego mask. Maybe we still need to also have eyes on the things just in front of us, like the laundry or the dinner on the table. We still have to do that while we do this. So there could be this feeling that having done both, has required a lot of strength. To have your eyes both on the everyday task, the work before you, and also have your eyes look towards the sky here, the energetic imprint that comes with a spiritual journey perhaps. Doing both requires strength here. And I feel like what links to the spiritual realm, the energetic realm, there has been fears, literally death fears, survival fears here that may have needed to be conquered. So in that case, I want to say there could be something about your upper chakras that may need like a healing. Throat chakra maybe even. Throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra, right? It's even the right colors actually, blue and purple. Blue up to purple, it's actually the right colors even, chakra colors. And here we have the yellow and orange, yellow up to the blue throat chakra, so that's even also the right colors. The further down we get, the more orange it becomes. That's a sacral chakra. I'm quite curious if we have orange and red on this one. But that's what I see here. I miss the green. Interesting. I miss the green color for the heart chakra. Can be pink also, but I don't have pink here. So I'm going to take a card particularly on that. And it makes sense, the heart chakra is the... I made a reading, the Scorpio reading talked about the precious, the most innate, intense version of you, this deeply embedded in you. And that can be the heart chakra. Because without the heart pumping, there is no light, there is no life, right? There is no life in the body. So the heart pumping regularly and healthy is extremely important to maintain the life we have on earth. The body, right? The body, to maintain that or to sustain it from dying. And also the soul, right? Because the soul is in the body here on earth. So if the soul wants to continue to learn and grow and shine its light in whatever way it can, it has to make sure that the body is actually working correctly as best as possible, right? There could be something about the heart here. I may need to draw a card on that. But there's definitely something about fear here. Fear triggers. And maybe fears of transformation, because we can have a lot of our ego identity with that one here. Ego identity of how strong you are and how much you have to do and how dependent the world is on you and everything you do. The children you have, you may need to be responsible and all kinds of stuff, right? You need to be strong. You need to be vibrant, you need to be fierce maybe, you know. And in life, to go out there every day and face whatever is out here, you still need to do that. You still need to do all kinds of stuff out here, right? While you may still be orienting you towards something new here. And doing both creates a lot of strength. It's difficult. Because it's a transformation, right? Otherwise, you could just skip her, right? You could just skip her and keep doing what you want to do. But if you are in a process where you're doing something here, so from being just this one to now being this one, it takes a toll on you. It requires extra strength on something that potentially could bring up a lot of fears, and it actually requires you to trust, right? It requires you to trust in something here that you can't touch, right? You can't see it, maybe, really, unless you're clairvoyant, but otherwise you can't like touch it and feel it. It's not that concrete, right? Not that solid. It's not matter, it's energy. And maybe the energy feels very dark for you, or it feels scary, right? I even want to say that it could even link to the fact that a lot is going on, right? A lot is going on. If you believe in astrology, we see the stars here. If you believe in astrology, if you have taken from being just like this, right? From being just like this, going forward in life, trying to be strong and fierce and everything, to now opening up towards this realm here. You allow now new information to... You're allowing for new information to somehow affect you or influence you. When you do that, you are already changing something. You're already changing something here. That alone allows for a rebirth. I remember when I dived into... I started out with numerology, but I just felt like, even though I got the education and everything, I just felt like it wasn't hard fact enough for me. I didn't feel it wasn't deep enough somehow. It told me something, and it was all good, but I kind of still felt... So now I know this. What then? Right? Now I know this, what then? I kind of felt that I needed a hunch in some kind of way. So is this just status quo, or can I do something about it, right? If I can do something about it, what? And then I looked for astrology, and I'm still just kind of learning on my own. It's a very, very big subject. There are so many different teachers. There's so many different directions and interpretations. And I just kind of go with my own, and I've studied my own natal chart a lot to figure out along my spiritual journey how the planets have actually worked for me, how my energy has been affected by them, and so on. And maybe also how I get myself out of that problem, you could say. So opening my eyes, in whatever sense that may be for you, I don't know what it is, but for me, astrology has helped me to understand life at Earth very differently. The entire spiritual journey led me to the idea that the soul is eternal and is returning and incarnating. I'm not limited only to one human body here and one human existence. that alone changed something for me. Whereas when I lived in this position, I couldn't even see the light, right? I had no orientation towards the sky here. I only looked at what was right in front of me here and tried to just be fierce and do the best I could. This opens up an entirely new understanding, right? And at least when I did that, something within me changed. Something changed. And maybe you have experienced something similar in a different way, perhaps. But take that how it resonates, right? Though it also required me to have a look at what death actually is, what death is about. It also takes me to the fact that literal death, like when I'm no longer in the human body, doesn't mean that it's over, that everything is now done, that I have no ability to live again. The soul is eternal. That's my understanding. Just take what resonates for you, right? But if you believe in that you have an eternal soul, having a human experience, learning something here, you will come back. You will come back. That you will have rebirth again, right? Not just dark space death. But that could be something that you are going to like release here, or something you have to figure out here. And I get the feeling that the heart idea, the green color, is actually very important. There's something you need to understand about the heart here. Otherwise, you could believe that there's only death. You could believe there's only death. What you need here is the love of God, like the heart of God. Unless you have felt the heart of God, you would probably believe there's only death. When I somehow am no more in this physical body, there's only darkness and death. There's nothing else. If you haven't felt connected with the love of God or any other deity, what feels right for you, but the innate, the precious, the life force, the light, if you haven't connected with that one, I get it, then it probably would feel like there's nothing. Because if you haven't connected with the God love, you don't believe in an eternal soul, probably. Do you get my point? I'm going to take a card on the green, on the heart chakra as well. Let's have a look at the bottom here. Interesting, yeah. So I get, I said I was wondering if there would be orange and red here. And there is orange and red here. I get the King of Wands. He sits with a red robe. He sits with a red robe. This is even red. King of Wands. This is a very passionate, very fiery. Wands energy is fire, right? This is fire. It's burning. It's hot. It's steamy. It's passionate. But somehow when I look at him, he feels almost scorpionic. Look at this black up here. I wouldn't say he looks like the devil, but something is definitely going on in the root chakra here, I feel like. That is not, it's not that, I get the feeling it's not healthy. When I look at him, it's just the way he looks directly to the camera, and it's very confident, very sits with like a bit sideways, leaning over on one knee. I get almost a competitiveness. Now he's ready to get up. He's in a position where he could, like when he would use his legs, he could easily get up. He has a wand in one hand. It's almost like he's ready to get up and come towards you, right? Like he's ready to get up and come towards you. That's what I feel like, to gallop. I hear gallop towards you. I see it like a lava, only a little green here, but otherwise a lava environment, a lava and the black sky here. It feels a little bit to me like the land of Mordor, if you know that one in Lord of the Rings. And the way he is painted here, like he looks directly to the camera, and it's like there is this slight dark shadow down his face here. That he feels a bit, he comes across a little bit like, I'm ready to go, right? And the King of Wands would do that. He goes very much with what he desires. The Wands energy, the fire energy. He's driven by the fire. He's driven by the fire. So he's driven by, you could even say, the Leo energy. They are right underneath each other, right? He's ready to go. Someone ready to go here. To perform or to do something here. To be in the spotlight, to make astounding results, right? To do the supernatural, to be Superman here. That's what he... Are you dealing with someone here, Pisces, or... I'm not reading for Pisces, but are you dealing with a person, or this could be you, of course, that is very ready to go somehow? It has this... It's like... It's like, when I look at this, it's almost like what happens when a volcano is erupting, right? It sends out a lot of lava, right? And the air becomes very smoky. It becomes very dusty with all the ashes flying there. It clouds everything. It's a clouded sacral chakra, a clouded... But there's still a bit green down here. But a clouded sacral chakra, I would say. These go up against each other, right? And the color is almost the same here. It feels like a clouded, maybe sacral chakra, and a very, I don't know, ruthless, I hear, ruthless, burning So either this is you or it's a... it's interesting, I get almost like a devil energy from this one, like it's... or red flags, I get... I get like tiptoeing, right? You would tiptoe quickly, like away from someone like this. I feel like you would tiptoe away from it. Or you would hide, you would kind of, you would make a big turn around them instead of confronting someone here. So is this you? Have you been burned somehow? By a King of Wands or something? It's just... This one doesn't lack confidence, right? He's quite determined to go. It's like, I get almost scorpionic, like his eyes is kind of just zoomed in on something, right? It's zoomed in on something, and it has become, or obsessive, like an obsessive, obsession. Like it's like he's zoomed in on something, and it has become now an obsession. And it clouds everything, right? It's like it's very fiery. It eats the air, right? The fire can only exist if there's air. Again, this element of air, space, air. This is... It feels like an obsession, like an obsession to create... to be this constant creator of something, or constant proof, like creating proof of something here. And to walk away from that towards the heavenly sky is death. Like that requires a rebirth, a redefinition of who I am. But if you feel like you are this at the bottom, that you have to be strong and fiery and solid and passionate, and maybe you're obsessive with power, a power obsession maybe here, a scorpionic maybe dominance, right? To give that up somehow. To give that up and look for more here is like a death sentence. It's like it's like these two don't go together, right? It's like if I can't be this one, I have to die, right? I have to die to not be this one. Like I literally physically have to die to not be this one, because I don't know how to not be this one. So I have to create a rebirth, looking towards the sky, being mixed with the Aquarius energy. It drains me. It drains me because it forces me to look or experience something where I cannot have control, where I cannot I cannot possess it, I cannot own it. It's not physical, it's not maybe sexual, right? This could be this idea that I turn away from plain sexual pleasure, right? The deriving derailing away from the plane, what's inside here, the prey or whatever is in front of you. Taking me on a different route here feels like death to me. Because I'm obsessive with work, I'm obsessive with sex, I'm obsessive with, that's what I get from him. Like he's want to go, right? He's ready here to go for whatever could give him success, spotlight, money, status, sexual experiences. The more steamy, the more hot, the more kinky maybe, the better, I feel like. And to have that could be obsessive, it could even be addictive here. Being addicted to the next high, being addicted to the next fire, being addicted to the next fire, flare up, right? The next big move, the next big accomplishment, being addicted to that. And if I can't do that anymore, I'm looking towards something else here, or I feel drawn towards something else. It could even be that someone is literally thinking about death, their own death. They think about, if you are an elderly person or you relate to an elderly person, they are facing some death fears now, maybe here. Leaving this situation, being very masculine, and being a very giving and a doer energy, and becoming more of a feminine beer and receiving energy, feels like death. That's like the opposite of the King of Wands here. Because he's very solid, he's very strong, he wouldn't give in, he would never admit a defeat, right? He is competitive, he is fierce, he's fiery, he's passionate. So becoming soft and receptive, needing to rest, that would kill this one. That's maybe what someone is facing here. Like it's literally going to kill them if they should give this up, right? If they should give up this, and this is the root chakra area, sacral chakra. So this means it's deeply embedded in the lower chakras. It's ruling the lower chakras here. And becoming soft, becoming gentle, becoming trusting. Because again, this one he has the power in his hand. He's not giving it away. That would be a Leo giving away his power. That simply doesn't work, right? He has to be in charge. There's something about being in charge, being the king, being solid, strong, fierce, powerful, Superman. If I give this up, if I can't be this, if I'm not supposed to be this, a part of me is dying here. It requires an ego death, right? For someone like this to choose a spiritual path, a spiritual, maybe more humble life even. In this case, it's like from believing that you have all the shine. The Leo is also associated with the Sun card, right? if you have all this shine, all this power, why should I live a simple life, right? I can create anything with this power. I can be the leader. I can be the top manager. I can be the star. I can be the football star. I can be the most accomplished whatever here. And I will have everyone kneeling before me, right? That's the king. That's standing on top of the mountain and have all the animals in the kingdom kneeling before you, right? But here you're giving up that. You're giving up the element of being in charge, being the one who chooses, who says yes or who says no to someone else, right? This is giving up being in charge. I feel like being the leader, being the head of the family, being the CEO, stepping down, right? And stepping down just means that something is dying. But what I feel this is more like it's a spiritual learning curve for someone who has been so much in the ego here, or so much determined by physical stuff and achievements and money and status and the most expensive car and the Rolex watch and whatever, all this spotlight stuff, right? The bling, bling, bling. From having that control, this obsession about maybe control or dominance or something, to now choosing to trust something that is not tangible, that is untangible, where there's no status in this, that there's no big money to be gained maybe. The only thing that you can gain from this experience is heart. It's the only thing you can get. It's love. It's connection. That's the only thing you can get from this experience, I believe. If you come from this belief system, then the only thing you can get from choosing this is love, compassion, connection, the feeling of God light. That you don't need constantly to create it. It's here already, but you need to connect with it. And it requires your heart to be open. At the bottom of the deck here, I get the tower here. Something is falling, definitely. Something is falling here, right? This experience here feels like, we see him falling here. It feels like death, right? We even see how something is exploding in the tower here, and how the crowns are falling off the tower, and he falls out. This free fall where I could literally die if I have no parachute or something here. I will die. My physical body is dying, right? Eventually it will. It will for all of us, right? Eventually it will for all of us. So something is going on here that is triggering a big fear of falling and dying here. It's the underlying energy here that you should have this fall. Maybe you need the fall in your spiritual awakening to get yourself out of a certain belief. It's like there's no heart. Like the heart chakra has not been opened. Maybe you need to open your heart chakra. Pisces. But to open your heart chakra also means that you get to feel again. Or you get to feel more, right? You get to feel all kinds of stuff around you. Maybe opening your heart would actually feel like your certain death, right? Can I have a card on the heart chakra, please? Why it's not featured here? There is a slight green here, but it's very little. And then again we have green down here. So I also get the feeling maybe it's almost like your heart is... Maybe your heart is hidden under this one. Like maybe your heart is literally at your root chakra. Meaning that whatever happened around your heart chakra, where you chose to close it, happened extremely early. Very, very early, even as a baby maybe. Something came here and set itself over it. This is the only green I have, which relates to safety of the heart, I want to say. Green and pink is associated with the heart chakra. For me, the green is more earthy. It becomes more materialistic. It's something like, do I feel that I'm safe in this environment? Am I protected by the caretakers around me? Do I get enough food? Do I get enough nurture? Do I get enough sleep? Do I get enough... Is it safe for me to be here? That's the green. Whereas the rosy color for me is more like the crush feeling. This is the fantasy, the dream, the flying in on the cloud, the rosy clouds with rose-colored glasses, that kind of feeling. Here we are all about like primal safety of the heart in the body, you could say. Literally something like how the heart is pumping. Is it pumping all right? Do you have a healthy bodily heart here? But it feels like something crushed it or something like that. Can I have a card on the heart chakra, please? But it's quite interesting how the colors actually fit. That we have purple down to blue, down to yellow, down to orange, brownish, and then down to red. And that actually makes sense. The only thing is about the green here. The green. Or the pink. So can we have a heart on that? Can we have a heart on that? Can we have a card on that? So now I get a jumper here. 4 of Cups in reverse. Four of Cups to me usually talks about reminiscing. He sits here by the tree and there are 3 cups standing here they're still standing. They haven't tipped over, meaning that there's still love here somehow. This guy still holds love for someone here, hoping maybe that someone would come back. Even if the divine sets in a new opportunity in front of you, he would probably not take it, because it's like they weigh more. Like there are 3 here and only 1 here. So even if the divine offers an opportunity for a new love situation or even self-care or self-love, he still kind of keeps himself in this more restricted realm. A passivity is here. He's not really doing anything. He could be caught up in romantic fantasies here, or novels, right? That keep him somehow linked to this idea these people come back. They will come back in my life. But this is reversed, right? It comes up a little bit like the past is the past. I'm done with the past, but I'm also not taking any new. I'm also not taking any new. So from that, I get a feeling of a personality that doesn't believe in romantic love. He knows it exists out there, that some people do, but this one doesn't. This one doesn't. He believes in whatever he can create on his own, whatever he can materialize on his own, in his own abilities, in his own drive. He believes that you have to be your own benefactor. Doesn't trust that someone would just come and hand you something. Something is not just handed by the divine, right? Very earthy, very fiery. Doesn't believe in magic, doesn't believe in magical healing, doesn't believe in the divine realm. So to take yourself there, to take yourself to this realm, feels uncertain and dangerous. To trust in something like this feels dangerous. To trust in magic, maybe, to trust in your fantasies, your dreams. It's the certain death. It's connected with death somehow. And it feels like it's because something happened here. It's like your heart is down here. It has been like pushed. It's like the heart, which is supposed to sit in this area, it's like it has been pushed down here and is residing down here. It's like it's kept down. This one is sitting over it. Like someone like this could sit over your heart. They have some kind of control over your heart. And also, I want to say, everything that relates to the heart. Romance, romantic novels, fantasies, like gentlemanship, maybe knighthood. This all idea about courting, like the idea of courting a woman, right? Or courting a man, courting a woman. It has been kind of just, it's like something sits on it. It sits and blocks this idea of like, pure, innocent romance and kind gestures. This one sits there, right? So let's have a look at this heart chakra, please. Can I have a card on this heart chakra? Wheel of Fortune. Well, it makes sense that it's called that the heart chakra is called the Wheel of Fortune, because as long as it's actually spinning, oh, so interesting what I get now from this. The Wheel of Fortune is spinning in a direction, and we want it to spin clockwise, because then it says that it spins in the right direction, like an upward turn of abundance and good fortune in your life. But if it spins in the other direction, it closes down and it actually becomes less vibrant, less living. It feels pressured. There could literally feel a pressure on your heart of dying, like that your heart is trying to pump against the gravity, you know, like this feeling that it's always uphill, like you're pumping something uphill. So every time you try to receive some, or every time you try to do something, it may have felt like it may have felt like a power struggle to get something done. To get something done may have felt like a power struggle. If when the chakra is closed, right, when it spins in the other direction, now I get this whole idea why I kind of felt this in the beginning. When the wheel spins clockwise here, you could say, when the wheel spins in the right direction, the wheel of fortune brings you fortune here. But how we see it also, it's almost like it's planted in what? Planted in a planet. Is this, I see it as the moon, and the sun is slightly shining behind it here, right? I see this as the moon. It's like it has been planted in the moon. So the moon, you would say your heart planted in the moon, tries to pump in the right direction, but when it's planted in the moon energy, it's planted in the secret, it's planted in the subconscious. As I said, it's so far down here. The green is so far down in the subconscious that you have no connection with it, or it's very, very little here. So your wheel of fortune, you could say, your heart's ability to connect with fortune and abundance and dreaming and is rooted in secrecy or lies or betrayal or darkness here, because moon is very dark. It's rooted in the feminine. So you have to connect with the feminine to somehow get your heart open again, to make it like spin in the right direction here. If your heart has been spinning counterclockwise, it has been closed off, right, with a wall around it, and it has been pumping against the stream. So maybe your body has been very, it becomes more and more heavy, right? Because it links in something, it stands in something here. Or it may even have been embedded entirely in the moon, and now it's actually emerging. It has found a way to breach the moon and get out again, right? To get my point, take it how it resonates. But it feels like it has either been set in, and like the sword of Arthur put in the stone, and it can't move unless it's the right energy that comes and yields it. It has to be Arthur, right? He's the only one who can get the sword out of the stone. So to get the sword or the wheel out of the stone, you could say, you have to yield the right energy. To make this work in your favor, you have to, I feel like, heal it. It has to spin in the right direction. Do heart healing. You can look up heart chakra healing, binaural beats, or that relate to the heart chakra. Don't overdo it. Again, as I said, just slowly but surely open to something else here. Then this will probably change for you then. It will not feel so devastating. It would not feel so it will not feel so disastrous or so doomsday. If you allow yourself to trust in the idea that you have eternal souls, you can turn something around here. That you will have a time where you can come back and do more, right? Or you can have a time where you will not be forgotten, or something like that. It could even be that you have felt that this idea of pumping uphill is now suddenly seeming like it changes with the full moon in Pisces, right? That something is now changing. The secrets are no longer that secret, or you have managed to overcome them. You have managed to breach out of the egg, maybe, and you can actually now align yourself with from maybe have feeling like you were restricted from tapping into the world of abundance or fortune in the divine realm. You may feel like you have actually managed to crack a hole and get out of the secrecy that you may have felt that you could literally break out of this, that you could somehow sneak around this guy, or somehow take him out of the picture, so that you can actually have your fantasy back here, your heart back, your safety back, and everything. We even have the pink here, right? So I feel like it may relate more to like fantasy, dreaming, like a fantasy life, an inner fantasy life perhaps, allowing yourself to dream bigger, to visualize yourself bigger, to like believe in magic, maybe, to believe in fairies, to believe in angels, to believe in like the divine realm, that there's more, right? There's more out there in the cosmic realm here. There's more. There's not just this. That could be, yeah, I feel like I need to put it here. Sorry, here, yeah. So the heart chakra, right? I don't know what this feels like for you. Maybe it feels like everything you have built your entire life on is now falling to pieces. It could be the feeling that I stand in between two choices. Either I believe in the doomsday and that there's nothing more out there. After this life, there's nothing more. So I choose to believe in the doomsday. I choose to believe that when I fall and I die and there's no coming back, right? Or I believe that I'm just a part of a clock, like time is circular, right? It's not linear. This tells a lot, right? It tells us something about, you could even say zodiac sign. It tells us something about the repetition of time, the repetition of like the wheel continues to spin. This is like two different belief systems. That if you believe your soul is eternal, that it will come back, right? Or you believe that at some point it dies. It falls to the ground, it dies, it rots, and that's over. So it's like there's a choice here. What do you choose to believe in? And if you have felt like you have been inclined to try to go on a spiritual path, at least if you listen to my readings, you probably have. Maybe you will, if you identify more and more with this, life is not going to feel so heavy, right? It's not going to feel so heavy, because this can actually also allow you to open your heart again. Because you know that your soul is going to prevail. You know your soul is going to live on. Your body is your best friend for now, and you can treat it right. But you as a soul, you will continue to live on, right? And maybe that's what takes you out of a more death-like experience here. But I also want to say that death here is because you don't trust in the divine feminine. We don't trust in the yin. We don't trust that out of darkness can become light. We don't trust that there's more. If I can't see it, there's nothing. But that's not true, is it? If you take an ultraviolet camera and you set it outside at night, even the darkest night, where there's no light around you, in the midst of the forest, and you set that camera out there, you will find life. There will be small insects crawling and mice and stuff crawling there, doing their stuff in the midst of the darkness. So there is life in darkness. It's just sometimes we don't think that. So I'm taking a card now of the Through the Eyes of the Soul oracle cards here. And it's because I feel like there's a lot of ego going on here in this. And the ego death comes with the idea that the soul could be eternal. If the soul is eternal, I'm not just only this life and this identity. I am more than that. And when you open up to that idea, you change this, right? Because the death card can no longer exist if there is eternal life. If there is the grace of God, right? If there's something more, if there's more out there, there can not just be death. If you actually start hearing the voices of like your ancestors or guides or something, there is more out there, right? That would also come when you open up your heart. Your psychic gifts will come. But maybe you have been blocked by the moon here. The moon has to do with fears, right? Fears of the dark, fears of the secrets, fears of unknown, fears of there is scarcity here and lack and shame or blame or guilt or a lot of fear, fear of death, all that kind of stuff. And if you have been there, how should your heart be open and receptive to more, right? And I feel like the wrapping up with this full moon could be about that it's time now to actually open that heart again. It's time to open that heart again. If you want to know more about this idea about a separate consciousness, awareness about this idea of being only a human, having just one life, one identity, one ego, and the eternal soul who has been here many, many times, experiencing many different kinds of lives, from maybe being kings to slaves and learning from every experience. The soul doesn't judge. The soul isn't egotistical. The soul, it doesn't care. The soul is pure consciousness. It's only here to learn something. Whether you have a very short life, a long life, a good life, a happy life, a dreadful life, a sorry life, a sad life, it doesn't really care. It's here to learn something. That's the soul. The soul is quite neutral. It's an observer. It learns from the experience. But the human body is filled with emotions and fears and all kinds of stuff. And this the soul also learns, right? Because it has a body, it can feel all this stuff. But without the body, it cannot feel it. So it needs a body. The body is your best friend to have to go through your learning curve, right? And if you don't master your life lesson, you could say, from maybe stepping out of your ego here and away from some fears into a very spiritual life, that comes with a lot of bravery. You need to be brave and courageous to do that. And that is a soul growth, right? It's a soul growth. No matter what sign you are. Stepping into total different energy is bravery. And that is soul growth, right? Okay, let's have a card on what this is going to take. It says take action. It says here, take action. And at the bottom of the deck, it says, become the master you seek. So there is something about, if you are experiencing that something is falling apart for you, or something in your consciousness is changing, it's not to derail you, it's not to hurt you. It's because it's time, I think. It's time for you to take action in a different direction, become more of what you really are. It says here, become the master you seek. So if you seek guidance, you have to know that you have everything within you that you need to build, to become whatever master you seek to become. Here I'm not talking about necessarily fame anymore. I'm talking about because there's something about leaving this life, leaving this human life, wrapping that life up. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but maybe consider this, right? When you are leaving this life, what is the most precious experience you take with you? Is it your name in the history books? Is it the achievements you've built in life? Is it that you were a very successful CEO? Is it that you have the most expensive things in your home? What is it that you would become really truly grateful for when you lay on your deathbed? What is the most important life experience you've had when you are no longer in charge of anything? What is it that you will take with you? Have you achieved that? If you have achieved it, great. You go with your success, maybe, your fame, your followers. I have been an influencer, maybe, and I did well. I've done what I wanted. I've created what I wanted, or whatever. Or I was a big CEO. I have built a lot of buildings. I was a great architect, or I was a great doctor or surgeon or something. I became that master. But it should be the master you seek. So if you are seeking someone to heal your heart, perhaps, we are no longer talking about physical matter, are we? We talk about being happy. We're talking about feeling free, feeling light, feeling magic, maybe. We talk about the love of God, the embrace, the grace of God, maybe. Or the grace of Mother God, right? We talk about the getting off the hook even. If you feel like you have been, that you got stuck in the hamster wheel of constant demand. If you want to be the master you seek, you have to take action towards it. You have to do something about it to create the one, right? Maybe you need to walk away from certain situations. Maybe you need more peace, as I said, or the other way around. But take it how it resonates with what really the King of Wands here can also be a big defender. Wands energy in tarot is also used to fight off other competitors, right? Of enemies somehow. He could be a big, I want to see defender. Maybe even obsessed by defending yourself. Or addicted to defending yourself. That could also be his role. That's why he's ready to go here. Maybe you need to figure out how to loosen up this guy, because he is a king here, so he's quite powerful. If he opens up his fire here, he will definitely create a lot of damage. Right, but take it how it resonates here. He could be your inner defender. He could be, but again, look at how he has created like a Mordor environment. It's very, and in a Mordor environment, there are no blossoms, there are no fairies, there are no unicorns. There's only lava, burnt soil, burnt lava. Stone, ice, cold, black, unpenetrable lava, hard stuck lava. Either that or like burning here, right? So to become the one you want, the master you seek, or the grace, the loving grace you seek, maybe in your heart, right? You have to become that one, right? You have to become that one before you have to take action, maybe get yourself out of a troublesome situation, a difficult situation. You have to choose to do that. And arise from the ashes of despair to go towards something else. Maybe embody ancient wisdom to somehow open up new channels for you, right? And you do that by opening your heart. So I would do that. I would do heart chakra healing. I would do this with myself as well. Use your hand and clockwise, right? With the intention of helping your body to reverse the direction of your heart, right? To reverse it, to go the other way. I would do that as well. Maybe ask a healer to help you do that. If you have a master in mind here, if there's someone in mind that you look up to, someone you really care for. Most healers and gurus and all this stuff, they're very calm. It's like the world doesn't bother them, right? So if you kind of don't want the world to bother you, you have to become that one. You have to embody that. And maybe you start by maybe figuring out why this guy is there in the first place. Keeping your heart down here. Not breathing, right? It's like he sits on it. Or there has put a lot, an energy or some kind of experience of a burst of lava or explosion of fire or defensiveness, or this can even be an abusive situation, has kind of, it's layering over something that could blossom, right? Something that could blossom, but it's all down here. It's at the very bottom here. Here it doesn't exist. Here it can't breathe, right? There's no air here that can allow this to grow. So you have to create that air. You have to figure out what gives you that air. What allows it to blossom. What allows it to breathe. To feel fresh, to feel aired, to feel alive, I want to say. Because here it feels like a root chakra and a sacral chakra where there's only a sense of ashy, polluted air. And the only way to change that is by doing something about it. Doing something about it. And I said, so I just asked my guides here, so if you should take some kind of action, what would that be? And then I get the Hierophant. The Hierophant for me can be like a priest. It can be mentor. It can be someone who trusts in more. A priest trusts in God, right? And because churches have become a accepted idea, what he does here is accepted, right? His role in society is accepted because he's a priest. The Hierophant typically works within the pillars, meaning the pillars of society. He has gotten himself in a position where he can work with the higher callings here. He can work with the higher callings of God, maybe, spirituality, other kinds of deities, Krishna, Muhammad, Buddha. I'm not going to be any kind of, I'm not saying who this is or what he is worshipping here, right? Or opening himself up to, but it's like become a master that is within society, maybe operating within society with a certain amount of respect. With a certain amount of respect. It can be that in the first place, maybe you are not literally going out there becoming a priest, but you do this to yourself, like you become the priest that advises yourself. What would he ask? What would he say to you if you came to him? Like again here, become the master you seek. If you came to him and you asked him a question, how would he answer you? And by that you have to listen to your heart. Where I feel like maybe the Pisces age in general has not allowed itself to, the time wasn't right. It was 3D dimensional. The time wasn't right for Pisces. It had to escape. We had to escape from whatever influence we could get from the cosmic realm. When Earth is now shifting and the energy becomes lighter, the energies are also quicker. They move quicker now. The more and more we get towards the 5D, it will become more and more easy and bearable to actually connect with the higher realms. It will even come to the point where it's necessary to do so. It will become easy also. And there's no opportunity to be flogged or anything here. You will not receive punishment for doing so. Actually, you will maybe be rewarded, because then you become the high priestess, right? You become the mentor that people may seek, right? You become the master that other people may seek here. But you need to open up to certain wisdom, move away from a difficult situation, arise from the ashes of despair, and you have to embody ancient wisdom. It can be something like sacred geometry, maybe. It could be healing powers. It can be all kinds of, I want to say Aquarian energy can be scientific. It can be any way. It can be where it actually, where you're going to shine some light on something. But it has to do, I feel like, with, the outer realm of something here. The Hierophant is a preacher or a book writer or something like that, an author. He has something he shares, typically with words. There could be something that also relates to your throat chakra, maybe. Throat and heart chakra. The throat chakra also relates to identity. So if you are making an identity shift here, or you are suddenly finding yourself identifying with new possibilities, your throat chakra is also changing. And I just feel like there's a choice between whether you want to stay in the 3D dimension or you want to go towards the 5D dimension, quantum field and all this stuff. So what do you believe in? I said something about the same thing for Sagittarius. Maybe you have Sagittarius in your chart. Or Scorpio, I want to say also, could be prominent here. On maybe some of the personal planets. So Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, could be, and Moon energy, of course. I said that, I believe. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. they are important. If you have Sag or Scorpio in those planets somewhere, I feel like there could be some elements of this coming up for you, perhaps. But it seems like it's definitely time to take some action towards something. Don't be afraid, right, of what the darkness, the yin energy holds, what your heart holds also. Even if you're facing this. Because death is, you could say, a human construct. It relates to the human body, but it has nothing to do with the eternal soul. So, to balance this knowledge is maybe also a bit difficult. I see it as if my soul is eternal. It cannot die. So actually it's not in any way fragile. But my ego could be fragile, right? The mask I wear, the protector I have could be fragile. So I can do something about that. I can take myself out of difficult situations. I don't have to put myself there. Do I? Maybe I can get another job, or I can move to the countryside where the houses are cheaper. I don't need the same income. Maybe I can drive another car, or I can skip the car, or I can, so maybe I can rent a flat. I don't need mortgage, maybe, or, you know, that there are always choices, but it depends on how stuck in the ego you are. That you want this, you need this, you must have this, and if you stick to that, it's difficult to change, at least towards this, I feel like. This is what I have for this full moon reading. I hope this helped you somehow. It's definitely time to take action, to show the world that you are ready to do differently, to go out there, that the moon energy is no longer keeping you stuck, maybe, that you can shine your light, or you trust. With this card also comes trust in eternal life, right? Where here we don't have trust. We believe it's a sudden death, right? To fall here. To fall is dying, where this is more like the opportunity that your soul is reoccurring. It's coming back. It will have a new opportunity. So do you stay stuck because of some kind of fears, that you will tremble, that you will not be strong enough or something? Or do you create the life around you that you need? That you can get yourself out of sudden situations, and then you decide to create the life you want. That is right for you. Because I don't think it's right for everyone to jump into the most devastating fear. I think for some it is the right thing. If they really want to, like, they are irritated about this fear. It annoys them that they always feel like this. But if you're not ready to do that, you can make small steps towards it still. It's still taking action, even if it's smaller. Let's have a look at the book here. I can just take. So the take action part says, of course, we can read the words, right? It says, the return of Siddhanta. Past mistakes can be corrected. Transmute your history through positive action now. Create a more promising future. The legendary Irish hero Cuchulains. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cuchulains. Cuchulains. Sorry about that. The legendary Irish hero original name was Setanta. In self-defense, he killed Chief Chulain's favorite guard dog with a hurling ball. In recompense, Setanta offered his services as the replacement for the dog. Oh, that's interesting. He then became known as Cuchulainn, or Hound of Cullen. In the painting, he has come back as a more evolved hero, an eco-warrior, having made peace with the dog, who is now his shamanic friend. He has returned to protect the ancient center of Tara, and as well as other sacred sites, from needless destruction and development. That's interesting. So, Setanta was an Irish hero. In self-defense, he killed a chief's favorite guard dog with a hurling ball, and in recompense, he offered himself, his services, as a replacement for that dog, for that guarding dog. That means to me a little bit that at some point you may have done something in self-defense that killed something or it destroyed something. And in remorse or to recompensate that, you have offered yourself as a service or as a tool for someone else who has a chief status, to become the Hound of Cullen, right? That you had to forever to bear the guilt of that self-defense action. In self-defense, he killed the dog. And to recompensate that, he offered his services as a replacement for the dog. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but have you done that somehow? Have you been involved in something that it says here, past mistakes can be corrected. Transmute your history through positive action now. I just feel like, yes, but don't do it necessarily to be the Hound of Cullen. Do it to be your own hound, or let the hound be your hound, right? The hound is very loyal, right? It's also submissive to a master. So somehow I get the feeling from being the one who was the hound, you can become the master you seek, right? So whomever you have tried to please, to recompensate, you can become that one. You can become that strong yourself. Interesting energy here. So become the master you seek. The master in Tibet, it says here. You are a divine being. Internalize this knowledge and allow it to inspire self-confidence and inner strength. What you search for may not be what you find. Realizing that the power of the universe is within you is the fulfillment of the quest. The power is at your command to use to create and build and find solutions to the most difficult challenges you encounter. Looking outside of oneself and expecting someone or something to do all the work for you is going against cosmic law. We must all use the gifts we have been given and actively engage in developing them for other assistance to appear. Yeah, so there is something about if you believe that you are a divine being, if you believe that you are more, right? You can internalize that knowledge and allow it to inspire self-confidence and inner strength. So from that knowledge, you can build your inner strength. The power of the universe is within you. And that's the fulfillment of the quest. You don't need to do any more. The power is at your command to use to create and build and find solutions to the most difficult challenges you encounter. But if you keep looking outside of yourself, that someone should do it for you, that someone should save you or something, that's not going to happen. The strength and the connection and the light and everything is within you. That's what I feel like this full moon reading and the Pisces energy really wants us to connect with that idea. Now I get it. It's like, as I said, it's like this King of Wands sits on you or your happiness here. It's like if you have ever done that you've done something awful at some point, and you want to you want to compensate someone, right? You want to compensate someone with your services. So now you become the loyal dog of someone here, and you follow them everywhere, and you do whatever they want. You no questions asked. It's like they sit on you, but I feel like it, as I said, it has a devilish feeling to it. It's kind of it's like you sit in a loop, because you are not a dog, you are a human being. So you are not supposed to have that role. You're supposed to have your own role, but you have somehow become, you have somehow, maybe vowed yourself to something or committed yourself to something to compensate. Right? The guard dog is a protector, right? It's someone who they can sniff something from afar and they start barking, right? They will start barking and making noise and making alarm. And it feels a little bit like you've either managed to kill something within yourself, like you're an inner protector or something, or you have done something to someone else, and to compensate for that, you have put yourself in their service, out of guilt, out of grief maybe, and I just feel like it's time, right? You take some action that can bring you more towards this. And here I really feel like self-care, becoming more aware of your own needs, what makes you relax, what makes you feel safe, right? So that you don't need this one. If this is an inner protector here, you don't need this one to stand fierce here, always ready here, right? With fire ready all the time, constantly alert. You don't need him. You can he can go to rest, right? He can, or at least rest a little bit, so that you can use your energy. Because sitting here in the root chakra or sacral chakra with constant alert, fire ready, defensive fire ready, this takes a lot of energy, and that energy could have been used on something else. So it drains you to have this guy available at all times. Even if he is fierce, even if he is very protective, even if he barks loudly, it takes a lot of your energy. He could even be the cause of, let's say, insomnia, having difficulties relaxing, right? That you can't sleep. You can't seem to rest and fall asleep. That's because he's always alert here. Okay, this is what I have for you this time. I hope this helped you somehow. Be gentle with yourself during this full moon. It can be like a heavy one. As I said, we have the Tower here. We have Strength, we have Wheel and Fortune, we have Death. We have 4 major arcanas on the table out of 5 cards. That's huge. That's huge, right? It's a huge ending. It's a huge new beginning. It's a huge transformation. And this one is even a king, so he's also not a pawn in this play, right? It's a court card. So these are big energies here at this moment. So be gentle with yourself, right? Calm down, relax. Don't do anything that feels, if possible, don't do anything that feels like pressure, okay? Yeah, this is what I have for you. Take very good care of yourself out there. I send you my very best love and light to you all. Bye-bye.